This is part 15 in our series on Derech Zuta, and today we are doing, according to the order in the Orchos Chaim Derech Zuta, Siman Perek Beis, Siman Memalef. Maybe the day Avera. That's, I think, relatively clear. One should always distance oneself from that which brings a person to an Avera. I don't think there can be any dispute or controversy about that. And the Orchos Chaim just says here, before paragraph Islam Aleph, so we've gone through it. Membase, having nirta michet hakal. Nirta is a fascinating word. You should be jump back. This must be a better word, but you should be shocked backwards from even a light chet, shleibach chet chamor. Right, this is the aver, but in a much stronger manifestation. Having near ta, chet kal. The Orchos Chaim says, having near ta, zoy mi chet kal shaloi v'yachol chet chamor. Kasher be'anu malish kochos ha'adam la'ra leitiv, the powers of a person to do bad or good. Hemen maznei mishkal hashavet, they are in an equal balance. Because when a person does a light sin, then he weighs the scales of the powers of evil for evil. It's going to bring him to a more severe sin, which is a fascinating way of looking at it. I'm looking much more linear. In other words, good is on this side, evil is on this side, and Chai will lead you a little bit more in this direction. But he's looking very differently. He's saying that there are kochos which are in balance. And when you skew the balance even a little bit, then it's much more likely that it's going to keep going in that direction. And it's this other koch is not it's not so much in the other direction, but it's now weighted down on this side, so this has not that much power. I don't know if that makes such a difference, but it's an interesting difference in perspective. He brings that here in the sorry, I get confused between the Perush. The Orchos Chaim brings down here halora scharabah vein ketslav anosecha. It's a plus of there. Your bad was great, and there's no end to your sins. Raschai bilti gvuleis vilis. Your bad has no limits. It continues to expand. From light sin, you'll come to a more severe sin. And it can become corrupt in your sins. It's the kind of sure. He says, Yoshavti may say shav. I didn't sit with people who are idle people. I guess they're called Masons because we're showing B'chaim Mason. With hidden ones, I did not come. It explains Kasher Lobasi El Yidei Chet Kal Shati Manashim Shvei Botel. I didn't come to a light sin, which is to sit with people who are just idle. Shem Chunim Yoshvei Shav. They are people considered people who are sit in naught uvatel and in idleness. Lo Avo Yidei Chet Chamor. I won't come to more severe sin. Im Ne'lamim. Who are Anoim Hanoshima Kozvim. These are the hypocrites, people who are Hamalimu Mastirim Maseim Haraim, those who hide their wicked deeds, which are obviously much more wicked. So I never saw this possible before. Never gone through all of Tehillim, so not learned through all of Tehillim. But it's a fascinating possible. Shadi may say Shav. I didn't sit with these people, and obviously there's a very Malbim-like interpretation because the Derech Chaim is a very Malbim-like sefer, and the way he interprets it. As a matter of fact, I think it would behoove us to take a look at the Malbim on this passage. So the Malbim is interesting. It's not much different. It is different, but it's the same style, of course. The pasuk is actually Shafti Mesei Shav Im Na'alamim Lo Avo, not Na'alamim, Na'alamim. That makes a difference here in the interpretation. There's Petilim Perek Chavav pasuk Dalet. So he says, lo says Malbin Gam Heisir Malponav Advarim Monim Mishlemus. Remove from before him things which prevent for achieving perfection. Shati Mesei Shav, where they shem Mesisim and Medichim Bnei Adam Me'avodas Hashem. These are people who are much more severe than the Orchos Chaim's interpretation. These are people who actually actively work to push people away from Avodas Hashem. They kind of show minus by heretical claims. So the Sei Shav, according to him, is not just idle people; it's people who are active in their missionizing. V'gam im na'alamim, right? It sounds to him that na'alamim is a lighter thing here. Shem anasha dvukim b'tavas olam hazeh. These are people who are clinging to the desires of this world, but also in the pleasures of the world. Lo avo, I do not come to them not to learn from their deeds. So actually, according to the Derech Chaim, it's going to mean akal la kaveh. And Malbim seems to be going for the kaveh el hakal. Malbim the Bir Milim says na'alamim is not ne'elamim, hidden ones, but na'alamim nigzeh mishem olam. Comes to the word olam. Hashtufim b'tavas ha'olam, those who are swept in the desire of this world. Okay, so that is very interesting. Again, the Malbim and Derech Chaim have similar approaches in parsing psukim, but a pasuk like this lends itself to either direction and has a significant range of interpretation. So that's fascinating to see the difference between the two and their approaches. At least it was fascinating to me. Hope it's fascinating to anybody else as well. Continuing on, the next passage brings down here. Picha sholachta b'ra l'shoncha tatzmid mirma. You cast your mouth in bad, and this caused your tongue to be glued to treachery. When you came to light sin, shalachta b'akrai picha b'ra. Even if you just shalachta, you just happen to send your mouth into negative stuff. Tavoli dechet chamor, you're going to come to a more severe sin. You're going to connect your tongue to treachery, which is even worse than apparent evil. In other words, apparent evil is bad. Mirma, like hypocrisy, is even worse. So again, a similar idea. Let's see if we can find the Bible by this one. So this is in Kapitel Nun, Baskutes, Picha Shlach Debra, Shoncha Tatzmid Mirma. Mom explains Picha Ulishoncha. Before it's clear. Shaloshin Pinimios there mean not peh. The tongue is more internal than the mouth. Umar Gamal Divrei Mirma V'Soch. And it also indicates something which is treacherous because it's internal. Shemamtzi Hamtzos Tvunios. It brings out about all sorts of more understanding perspectives, but the Ramos Tatzmid for treachery and for Tatzmid. Here it says it's not Tatzmid is doesn't learn it like yes he does. Tatzmid Pasil, that means so I connected Chaber Mirma to connect treachery to evil. That was the Bir Milim. The Bir Inia says Picha Shlach Debra L'Daber Lashon Hara L'Chavercha. Speak Lashon Hara. But L'Divrei Emes, not words of truth. Rak L'Shoncha Tatzmid Mirma Shaveiro Shato Seh Totzi Dibo Al Chaverecha. So it says you're going to speak Lashon Hara, and not true words, but treacherous words. So again, very different interpretation in the pasuk than the Orchos Chaim. It just goes to show. As if we didn't know that the psukim have many possible interpretations. I think we'll stop here for today.